Your church, mission, or nonprofit could fund its vision without asking for another donation, and do it by helping families save money on services they already use. Traditional fundraising is exhausting and unpredictable. It drains your time, your energy, and your volunteers. In fact, many organizations report that over 80% of their operational time gets diverted just to securing donations. That means less time for your real mission. But now there's a better way. One small church recently started using this approach. Instead of planning endless fundraisers, they help families save on essentials like mobile wireless, streaming TV, and wellness, and every time they did, the church earned ongoing support. No selling, no pressure, just a sustainable stream of income that grows every month. This same model is already funding projects like rescuing children from trafficking and feeding families in crisis, all without donor fatigue or financial stress. Join our 15-minute Zoom vision call and discover how.
Have a dream and want to achieve big things is one thing, and having the money to be able to do some of those things is another, right? So we're going to talk about the journey to impact and how we can create a path to sustainable ministry and be able to reach our goals, whatever they might be. Now, I'll probably be very descriptive here as far as some of the images, because Rodney, he can't see these images, but hopefully I'll be able to do it justice. Okay, Rodney? So, the vision, like I said, the struggle and the miracle. And we had a vision when we first started. In fact, this is a image, a photo. It was black and white, and I digitized it, put it in color. But it's a picture of myself. We're standing in a room with other people. Our eyes are closed. We're worshiping. And there's my beautiful wife next to me on my arm. And there's people's hands are raised. Their eyes are closed. They're very intent. And so we went to Bible school, and we were very intentional about what it is we wanted to achieve, what we wanted to do. And, like anything, it's not always that simple, cut and dry, so we had to learn how to really stand in the midst of some difficult times and have faith and know that God was with us. And so we had a desire to take the gospel to the nations and bring hope where it's needed. And so we answered the call. We wanted to go to Asia primarily, and we went to another school after this. It was a special training for international ministry, and we went to the Philippines afterwards. We raised enough money to get there, and we thought we had enough. And so any of you here have ever been in ministry, a pastor, or whatever you try to do, it's a challenge sometimes. And so it wasn't any different. You would go church to church. This is how we do it in certain denominations like Assemblies of God and other denominations. You would itinerate for a year, up to 2 years, raising your budget. And finally you could go to the field, and not all of that money went to you because it was redirected to expenses, insurance, different things, so that you would be taken care of. But what a tedious task. We ended up over in the Philippines, had our support, but the reality hit is because soon we discovered that people forgot who we were. So they forgot to send their support, or it was delayed for one reason or another. So back then we didn't have these little debit cards that we could simply have people transfer money to it easily. We were over there 6,000 miles. This young couple, can you imagine this young couple out there in the middle of nowhere, believing to God to meet our needs? And here I am, a picture of me. I'm speaking to these are all prisoners in Montelupi prison, and I've got a microphone in my hand, my other hand's raised, and I was teaching them. And then on the other side, I got a picture of my wife and our 2 children. Yes, we did take our 2 small children there, and the caretaker, they're called Yaya, holding the small girl's hand. And then on the other side of Deborah is a gal, and her name was Bing, B-I-N-G, and she was an intern that was living with us. And so just to kind of express the need and the desire to make the impact, we were over there, and there one evening, all of us, we were in the house, and they came to me and they said, we don't have no viand. In other words, we don't have no food. And we were out and we didn't have any money. We're still waiting for our support to come in, and we just couldn't do anything. And so my wife and I, we said, well, we got the speaking engagement tonight. We'll go speak at this church, and we'll take the last of our money and go there. And typically they will take an offering. I mean, a lot of poverty in the Philippines, they typically don't give a lot, and didn't expect a lot. I mean, we went there, and we ended up taking a bus ride, a jeepney ride. It took us a little while to get there, and we went there, and I ministered. And at the end, they did not take an offering. So there we were. We left that building. We walked out to the street corner, busy street. I can still see those cars speeding past us, on that street corner. And we looked at each other. What were we going to do? So we just said, well, we'll just have to believe God. And suddenly something happened that was a miracle, and the wind began to blow. There was leaves and dust that began to blow back and forth. Deborah, she began to shuffle her feet around on the ground, and she bent over, and I said, what are you doing? She thought there was leaves stuck to the bottom of her shoes. She reached down, and guess what? It was money. So, there was money on her feet. And so we talk about a miracle, unbelievable. So she reached out, we took that money. It was enough for us to go by the market afterwards, some open air market, and then go on home. And that's how we live sometimes. We just had to, sometimes we were on the very edge, and that's great to be able to see many, many of those miracles. I can go on and on about different things that took place in our lives, but how many believe it takes as much faith to believe for those little small miracles as it is to maybe meet a larger vision, of raising $1,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. It takes just as much faith. And so I believe we should be able to sustain ourselves, our vision, and what it is we want to achieve where it concerns our life. So here's the problem, though. Ministry funding for many, many nonprofits takes up to 60 to 80% of our operational time. So we do that. We spend time securing donations. We have all these types of ways to get people to give. And it's a tedious task, and it takes us away from what we really should be doing. The other day, last week, I was over at Panda Express, and I looked up on the wall, and I noticed there was this check, and I have a picture of a check here, and that check says it was made from Panda Express to Children's Miracle Network. The amount written is $455,502.32. So Panda Express had been able to raise that amount of money, and the reason they were is because they have this huge base of customers, right, that are spending money, coming and going in and out weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, quarterly, and they would take a small percentage. We've seen this model of fundraising again and again in the marketplace, but they were able to achieve this amazing amount, but they didn't have to use bake sales. They didn't use car washes, silent auctions, community fairs, crafts, t-shirt sales. They didn't do any of these special support dinners. We would do missionary support dinners, but they didn't have to do any of that. Instead, how they do it? They did it. They achieved it through everyday purchases. And the question is, what would it be like if you and I could do the exact same thing? We don't have that customer base like Panda Express, but we, through what we're going to introduce to you, this is indeed achievable. So here's how it works. We sign up, and supporters go through a link, and we help them switch essential services. Now, these are just not anything. It's things that people, every home in America, thousands and millions of homes are indeed using. And these are services essential. And so it has to be something that they're currently using. And then secondly, it has to be something that will actually lower their bill. lower their present costs so that we can put money back into the pocket of that customer, whoever they might be, that constituent. And at the same time, the ministry, the organization, the nonprofit receives a monthly income. So lower bills, bigger impact. How many agree that sounds pretty good? That sounds pretty good. If you can put a 1 in the comments, man, that'll show me then here you understand what we're talking about. This is powerful. So small numbers, big impact. So here we have a picture here of some people on the side here. They're standing by a stack of coins, gold coins, and it says there's 20 services that if a person, just to give you an example, this ranges from 10 to 20 people, individual, or services. We call them services because people can, we have 3 primary verticals, services that people can take part of. In fact, we have more than that, but we're focusing on 3 here in this presentation. But these are services that people are using each and every day. So they simply switch their service. So they may switch their service to 1. They may participate in more than 1 in order to save money. And so that can generate, if you had just 20 services that were actually being used by that group of people, could be 10 people, could be 20 people if they only did 1 each, but you'd be receiving $250 a month for your nonprofit. So that's just the beginning, though. This increases, and in fact, here with 40 services, that's $500. So it can increase quite dramatically. So multiplier income. Here's a quick what 3 services we're focused on, and we'll give you a little overview of each. Wireless, that'd be your phone service like AT&T. This is a top tier wireless service, and we're able to save people over and above what they're paying now. There's streaming TV. Every one of us, I was standing at home the other day, and it was they had direct TV paying over $200 a month, and they found out, they were screaming about it, and then they called and they got it dropped to $119 when we offered for $75. So then there's wellness and this is a powerful program, and we'll talk about it more. But if you just take a few dozen supporters, that's create $1,000 to $5,000 a month of additional income to your cause. And this is very, very powerful. So there's 3 ways to save money and be able to multiply kingdom impact. So save big on services that and this is what I want to really stress here, on what people are already using. Okay, we're not asking them to buy a new concept, another service. These are specific services that are saving them money. So $25 if they have a 4-line package, $25 per line with AT&T. There's Pro Wellness, where you can actually have access to a doctor virtually at no cost whatsoever at any time. In-person urgent care, you can walk in up to 6 times per year, no cost, no copay. How about free prescriptions, medications, generics, over 3,000 generics, absolutely no cost, no copay, lab work, 0 copay, nothing. So you can see that there's millions of people there that can use just this one product alone. My Pro TV is $75 unlimited. We got all kinds of channels, and that channel lineup is growing. In fact, they're going to add another 200 channels here August 1st, I believe. So these are fantastic. I want to take you through a real quick video. These are 1 minute each, okay? They'll explain each one of these, all right?
Healthcare in America is broken. Over 50 million Americans have no health care, and over 100 million qualify for massive discounts but don't know it.
15% of people know someone who can't afford to pay for their health care. And a new survey found that about 34 million Americans know someone who died because they couldn't pay for medical treatment.
The United States has by far the greatest burden of healthcare bills on individuals.
Pro Wellness Club is the all-in-one solution that makes healthcare affordable, accessible, and available to you. Telehealth, we've got it. 24/7 access. Primary care, urgent care, even telecounseling whenever you need it. Got a hospital bill? We've got a team that helps reduce or eliminate it. And it's not just care, it's wellness. Dental, vision, chiropractic, acupuncture. Even discounts on yoga and holistic health. Everything you need to take care of your health in one membership. No hidden fees, no access charges. It's all included. And here's the best part. Share it with others and get paid for making a difference. This is healthcare that works for you. Affordable care, real access, and a chance to earn. Join the Pro Wellness Club, because your health should come with peace of mind. Welcome to Pro Wireless, the smarter way to stay connected. Forget contracts, forget credit checks. We use Tier 1 networks, so you get the same great service, but with better value. Control your costs and your connections. Use your phone every day and get rewarded for it every week. With Pro Wireless, you're not just a customer, you're a partner. Switch, save, and start turning your phone into a paycheck. It's a real way to make your phone work for you, whether it's business or personal. Stay connected and get paid. The wireless game just changed, and you're in control. Pro Wireless.
Welcome to MyPro TV, the next wave of streaming. Live TV, sports, news, movies, even exclusive content, all in one app. You choose what you watch, when you watch it, and how much you save. This is more than streaming, it's a movement. While other platforms charge you, we flip the script. MyPro TV is putting the power back in your hands. The next trillion-dollar industry is calling your name. Will you watch it happen, or will you be part of it? MyPro TV.
It's all right. All right. So you can get excited about that. That's some, those three services alone are so powerful and are meant to save people money. So this model works by really going after existing expenses people are already paying for on a monthly basis. And then secondly, like I said before, saving money. And so support or spend less, not more. And this creates sustainable revenue, predictable income without what we call donor fatigue. And this is something that we've all experienced if you've been in this space for very long. You know, churches and organizations, they have all kinds of ways to raise money, the bake sales, galas, car washes, special events, but no more. We've eliminated that with this program. And so the real world results are evident. I mean, feeding children. I mean, the company that's behind this, Financial Pro, has a combination of all of the membership. We've already given $15,000, a one-time gift to a girls' orphanage in India, trapped in sex slavery, and then committed to giving $3,000 a month to help support them and what their efforts are over there. So you can see that it's just not only this whole idea of giving and having impact is not just from a corporate level, but individually, each one of you can be involved, whether it's supporting missions or advancing the kingdom or whatever it is to be. And here's the exciting part is because, you know, there's millions of nonprofit organizations, churches all across the United States, and they need somebody to introduce them to this concept and what's possible in this space. So imagine the possibilities of predictable income, ability to plant churches, feed more children, support missionaries, do the things that are really in your heart. And it's been something that's been in our heart. My wife and I, we've been in ministry for 30, 40 years, and we continue to do what we do and the little that we have. But imagine the kind of impact that we can have. So the financial transformation, it takes place in which can eliminate, number one, those letters that we have to write every Christmas, asking for supporters to renew their support or whatever it might be. Eliminate donor fatigue, create financial stability, reliable monthly income. It frees up our ministry time that we can do what we're called to do or feel called to do. Okay. So the focus on the mission is what we should be focusing on, not the money. And see, what we are creating here is something that's sustainable, because like Panda Express, now that's a little different because they're having to, they're go to a place and reach in their wallet and make a purchase. Here we're talking about subscription-based services that are automatically paid for each and every month over and over and over again. That's called sustainability. So ministry shouldn't struggle financially. They really shouldn't. And now you don't have to. So we built the tools, the system, and the support. So the invitation is here. You've seen the need, the solution, and we want to ask you if you'll take a step to become a part of what we're doing. And your mission and the people you touch, their mission is worth the time. Okay. So what are we asking you to do next? Well, number one, save, cut costs on your own services that you're already using, whether it's wireless, streaming, wellness, and then participate, be involved, and invite others, share to others who are interested in bringing them onto a Zoom like this.